Sand dunes, 9 kilometers.
Antelope everywhere.
Is there any chance you got a campsite?
Well, I opted to pack up camp early and come out to the lake, a little lakeside spot, to have my coffee this morning instead of in that campsite where everybody was starting to rise. Today we're going to ride down into the Great Sand Hills. It should be interesting. Like I said yesterday, I'm looking to get to Cypress Hills a little bit early today so that I can see if they've got a camp spot and sort of figure that out, because I have no idea where we're camping tonight. But have this coffee and enjoy the sun, and we'll catch up with you on the road. So I ended up not going north through Kyle at all. It looked like some of the more interesting TCAT route had been, or the access to it had been bought up by somebody and posted with no trespassing. So it looked like some of what you were going to get up there was just grid roads anyway. I was a little tired, and so I decided to go south, went down to Speedy Creek and gassed up there and bought a new memory card, and now I've come back up to meet back up with the TCAT again. I'm in Scepter at the moment, and a windy ride up here on the highway, so looking forward to getting back on some trails and hopefully out of the wind a little bit more. So I need to just readjust my mirror, which was blown loose in the wind. But we'll get that fixed up, and then get back on the road. Following some gravel roads out of Scepter, I was soon presented with the sand road leading me to the Great Sand Hills.
Sand dunes, 9 kilometers.
This is a challenging part of the T-Cat when riding atop a two-wheeled heavy tank. But remembering that I was riding a dependable tractor and keeping my pace steady and stable got me there without any major tip. A little parking area gave me a chance to climb a few of the dunes and check out the local attractions, as the heat of the day was also beginning to climb. As the sand road slowly returns to a gravel base, I left the grids and entered a long section of road allowances running between various pastures and farmland. The conditions of these passages through the prairies varied as I crossed from quarter section to quarter section. Almost all were rutted deep, so keeping wheels in the concave track really only required you to keep your eyes on the road ahead, which at times was not an easy task. Other sections were covered with what felt like golf balls under the tires, and had my arms, shoulders, and sphincter on a CrossFit-worthy workout. Others still were grown over by tall grass, which obscured the ruts and rocks and holes below. Cattle gates and fences would periodically appear to slow the progress further. Remember, when crossing these pasture gates, the rule is to leave it as you find it. If it's open, it should remain so, and if it's closed, you should secure whatever latch mechanism it employs once you've passed through. Past this, the T-Cat opened up once again into a vast pasture and stretched out into infinity. The vibrations from the stone-washed roads through here were enough to begin to shake me and the KLR apart. The sounds of sharp stones popping out from under my stock tires was a little unnerving, especially with the sun blaring and no sight for a tree for the last 60 kilometers. The last thing I wanted to be dealing with was flat rubber out here. But the vistas and rolling scenery kept me smiling, as did the wildlife. These are active pasture lands and the cattle are not used to bikes or company out here. For some reason, they tended to run directly in front of me when startled, so I was sure to slow down significantly for any bovine in the lane.
It feels like we've been driving through this grassland forever. What time is it? It's about 20 after 2. Oh, I guess we have been driving through it forever. Yeah, we've been on these roads for a long time, and it's hot, and there are no trees to hide under. It's currently 33 degrees out, and I haven't got too much further to go, I don't think, until I hit Maple Creek. But it doesn't look like I'm gonna get to any campsites early in the day. I was hoping to be there now, looking for a campsite, but no dice, so yeah, here's your update. We'll bring it back when I may be in Maple Creek, or if something happens before then. Antelope everywhere, just antelope. Never seen antelope, seen tons of antelope. Super cool, very cool. Yeah, neat. Having fun, but my butt and hands are sore, so I'm ready to be done for a bit. Yeah.
Finally, the pastures spat my shaken and burned body onto the grid roads and eventually onto Highway 21, which I happily rode all the way into Maple Creek. After gassing up, I was anxious to get into Cypress Hills Provincial Park to see if there was any camping sites available for the night.
How are you? Good.
Good.
Is there any chance you got a campsite?
Yeah, there are a few left.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Okay, so I just had something to eat. Absolutely fantastic bison burger at the resort. Now we're gonna go back to the campsite, and I'll show you how absolutely piece of terrible this campsite is. It's probably the worst campsite in the history of campsites. It's like, it's terrible. Anyway, we'll go back there and set up camp best we can, and yeah, spend the night. You're gonna love this. Check it out. Yeah. So number 65, baby.
worst campsite ever.
So even when there's a campsite, there's still some strategy as to how you set up. So right now the sun is setting there, which means it's gonna rise there, and considering I'm in a friggin' ditch, it's gonna be hot. So I'm gonna get some shade by parking my bike here, putting my tent in front of it, and then having a tarp come off the bike over the tent. That's the plan. Let's see if we can do it. Tomorrow we got nothing real on the agenda, so it's kind of a free day. I can either stay here again for the night or find somewhere new. But during the day, I think we'll just do some rides around here. I'd like to go to Bald Butte and check that out. And I'd also maybe like to go and see Fort Walsh over in the west block of Cypress Hills. So I might do a drive up to Butte, Bald Butte, check that out, and then there's kind of a access road. It's not on the TCAT, but it's kind of like a TCAT sort of road. It meets up with TCAT again to go over to Fort Walsh area over in the west block. So I might try and do that. And then for tomorrow night, we got to figure something out. So either we're going to be camping in the bush somewhere, or find somewhere different. But this will do for tonight. You hear this guy? Good. Took a wrong turn somewhere.